Hey, signing agents, what is up? Happy Saturday or happy whatever day it is if you are checking this video out on the replay. As always, I'm excited to hang out with you guys today and share information with you that will hopefully help you to be a more productive and profitable signing agent. Today, we're going to be talking about the NNA Background Screening. Now, for some of you guys who are already signing agents, for some of you guys who have already taken the background screening, this just may be a little bit of a refresher or a little bit of an update, or you may learn some information about the background screening that you didn't know. But this video is going to be especially important for aspiring signing agents or new signing agents who have not yet taken the background screening, who may have questions about the background screening. Why do we have to take it? How does it work? All of that good stuff. I'm going to give you guys all of the details about the NNA background screening today. But first, do me a favor, guys. Whether you are watching on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, whether you are watching live or whether you are watching the replay, do me a favor, hit that like button, give this video a thumbs up. And then definitely if you are watching on YouTube, make sure that the subscribe button and make sure that you hit the notification bell. Guys, when you subscribe and when you hit the notification bell, you will be notified anytime I drop a new video or anytime I go live so that you don't miss any of the information that I have coming out for you. I want to thank you guys as always for joining me, and do me a favor, as I always ask, again, whether you are watching live or whether you are watching on the replay, do me a favor, go down in the chat. Let me know what city and state you are in. It always boggles my mind that there are people watching, joining, watching the live, watching the replay from all over the country. So let me know what city and state you are in. Then also let me know whether you are an aspiring signing agent. That means you haven't done any loan signings yet. You're new. You're just kind of checking this whole signing agent thing out, trying to see if it's for you or not. Just curious about it. You are an aspiring signing agent. Or let me know if you are a new signing agent. You've been doing this signing agent thing for 1 year or less. Or let me know if you are a veteran signing agent. You got more than a year of this signing agent thing up under your belt. You're a pro. You've done this. You know what it is all about. So again, whether you are watching live or whether you are watching on the replay, go down into the chat, go down into the comments. Let me know what city and state you are in, whether you are an aspiring signing agent, a new signing agent, or a veteran signing agent. And then, guys, I want to remind you that yes, the replay of this video will be available immediately. Pretty much as soon as the live stream is over, you will be able to rewatch this entire video. So again, if you miss something, if you have to leave, if you've come into this video a little bit late, if you just want to rewatch it for the information that is provided, the replay will be available. So if you are watching on the live stream and you happen to see someone ask as I'm going through, oh, I missed something, will the replay be available? Do me a favor, let them know. Yes, the replay will be available. And then we've got a few folks that are telling me where they are from. We've got Sean in Memphis. He is a new signing agent, just got his certification, getting ready to jump into the game. Well, I am happy to have you watching with me live today, Sean. Hopefully this video will help you out if you have not yet taken your background screening. Or again, even if you have, maybe this will give you more information about the background screening that you didn't know. We've got Kim Ellis from Marietta, Georgia, 5-year veteran. So she's done this background screening thing a few times. She knows all about it. We've got Renee from Fort Worth, Texas. Always my Texas folks be hanging in there with me. She's been a signing agent for 2 years. So again, you've probably done the background screening a couple of times. So you can also kind of let the new folks know it's really not that stressful. A lot of people stress out over the background screening, but it's really not that stressful. And we've got Thelma from Mansfield, Texas. She is a veteran signing agent. Happy to see you. Guys, we've got more folks telling me where they are from. Keep on telling me, guys, what city and state you are in, whether you are an aspiring signing agent, a new signing agent, or a veteran signing agent. But I'm going to go on ahead and jump into the next part that I have here, and that is to let you know that there will be a Q&A session at the end of this video. So if you have questions that you want answered about being a signing agent, specifically about the background screening, but if you've got questions about being a signing agent, you will be able to ask them at the end of this live stream. So do me a favor, try to hold your questions until the end of the live stream. I'm going to try to stay on topic about background screenings, but again, I will answer any general questions that you have about being a signing agent. Now, if for some reason I do miss your question during the live stream, I'm sorry. Or if you are watching the replay of this video, still ask your question in the comments. If I miss it during the live stream, I always try to go back and answer any questions that I may have missed. So if I missed your question, just check back a little bit later. I'll probably have that question answered for you. And if you are watching on the replay, you can still put your question down in the comments. I always go back and try to answer any questions that I see in the comments. Now, you guys are going to hear me talk about the description box of this video a lot. Now, first, when I say the description box, I am talking about on the YouTube video. So if you're watching this on Facebook or LinkedIn or somewhere else, in order to get to the description box, you need to first come over to this video on YouTube. Then, if you are watching it on your computer, if you look underneath the video and underneath the title of the video, you're going to see a little bit of the description box, and then you are going to see the word more. Make sure that you click on that word more. Now, if you're watching this on your mobile device, like your cell phone, like most of us do, you got a couple of steps. Again, you're going to look underneath the video. You're going to look underneath the title of the video. And then again, you're going to see the word more. Click the word more. That's going to open up the description box just a little bit. And then you will need to click the word more again. Once you have done that, whether you are on your laptop or desktop computer or on your mobile device, you will see the description box open all the way up. And in that description box, you will see links to all of the different things that I'm going to talk about in this video. The links are usually highlighted like in blue or something like that to make them very clear. So as I say, there's going to be a link for this thing down in the description box. That's where the description box is. Now, the first thing that I always give out to you guys when you are watching is my free new signing agent checklist. If you are a new or an aspiring signing agent, I highly, highly, highly encourage you to download this checklist. One of the biggest questions that people have is, or one of the things that they say is, can somebody tell me step by step what I need to do to get started as a signing agent? Well, yes, I can absolutely do that for you because I have a checklist that tells you step by step what you need to do to get started as a signing agent. So definitely all of my new and aspiring signing agents, make sure that you click the link for that free checklist down in the description box. Then I also have a free AI guide for notaries also down in the description box. AI is an awesome tool that we can use as notaries and as signing agents, specifically in the marketing of our business. But if you're not used to using AI, things like ChatGPT, you may not think that it works very well. You may think, oh, I asked it a question and I really didn't get a helpful answer. Well, That's because there's certain ways that you need to ask the questions to get the information that you need. So I have come up with a specific AI guide for notaries and for signing agents that you can use to have AI as a tool in your tool belt to help you get more business as a notary or as a signing agent. So make sure, if you have not downloaded it before, that you go down into the description box, click that link, and get that free AI guide. All right, let's head into the meat of this video. And again, we're talking about the NNA, the National Notary Association background screening. But before we get into that, we need to talk a little bit about what our role is as notaries and as signing agents so that we can understand why we even have to get a background screening at all. Because I know a lot of people are like, I'm just getting paper signed. Why do I need to be background screened? Why do people need to look at my information? Why does anybody need to know my personal information in order for me to be a notary signing agent? Well, notary signing agents' role in the mortgage process is to first deter fraud by verifying a signer's identity and their willingness to sign. Then our job is to give signers a brief description of their documents. We also need to make sure that the documents are signed, dated, and notarized properly. No missing signatures, no missing notarizations, no incorrect dates, none of that good stuff. Our job is to make sure that the documents are signed, dated, and notarized correctly. Then our job is to return the completed loan package back to the hiring company or the mortgage company or the title company. So in those loan documents that we receive, there is a ton of signers' personal information. So again, some of you guys who are new or aspiring signing agents may not realize this, but there is a ton of personal information in signers' loan documents. Some of that information includes Social Security numbers. That's a pretty important number when you guys say Social Security numbers, signers' dates of birth, their driver's license information or their ID information like their passport or military ID, their bank and credit account information, like literally account numbers, balances, all that kind of stuff, and credit information like credit cards, their income and employment information, where they work and how much money they make, and a lot more. So then obviously, guys, with all of that type of information being found in a notary loan package, that means it would be very, very easy for an unscrupulous or unethical person to use their access to that information for criminal or illegal purposes. Now, I know you guys are saying that you are ethical. You guys are all saying, I'm not unscrupulous, right? But there are unscrupulous and unethical people out there who would use this position to gather that personal information on other people to do illegal things. So, because of this, the mortgage industry is aware that we have in our hands the personal, private information of a lot of different people. So the mortgage industry generally requires background screenings for any person involved with the loan process. And again, that's because of the amount of direct access that we have to signers' personal information. So in general, loan officers get a background screening. Loan processors get a background screening. People who are in the title industry tend to get a background screening. And that's because all of these different people have access to signers' private information. And again, I shouldn't have to spell out to you guys how easy it would be to steal someone's identity or open up credit accounts or steal money from people when you have that type of personal information on them. And since we, as notary loan signing agents, also have access to that personal information, The mortgage industry wants to do their best to guard the signers, to help prevent an unscrupulous person getting their hands on that information. And one of the ways that they do that is by requiring that we get a background screening. All right. So you got that little piece of history. You got that little bit of understanding as to why we have to get a background screening. Now, there is a company out there called the National Notary Association. Many of you, if you are notaries or aspiring signing agents, have probably heard of them. The National Notary Association has positioned itself as the leading authority on the American Notary Public Office. Now, the NNA, it's just a private company, honestly. They're not a government entity. They're not a legal entity, but they have been in business for quite a while, and they've positioned themselves as the leading authority for notaries public in the United States of America. So, one thing I do want you guys to know, that there is actually no legal requirement that as signing agents that we have to get a background screening. And there is no legal requirement that if we do get a background screening, that it has to be from the National Notary Association. There's actually tons of different companies out there that offer background screenings. However, because the NNA has positioned itself as the leading authority on notaries public in our country, the background screening from the NNA has basically become a standard requirement for anyone wanting to work as a notary signing agent. Again, it is not a legal requirement, but it has basically become the general standard requirement for most companies that are looking to hire a notary signing agent. Now, the NNA, the National Notary Association, actually does not do the background screening. The National Notary Association uses a company called Backgrounds Online to actually complete the background screening. You will order the background screening through the NNA, but the company that actually completes the background screening is a company called Backgrounds Online. So then one of the first questions that I get from people who are going through this background screening process for the very first time is, well, what are they looking for? I know they're doing a background screening, but specifically, what information of mine are they going to go through? So the NNA background screening follows the standards and of a company called the Signing Professionals Work Group. So there's an organization out there called the Signing Professionals Work Group that, again, it's not a legal requirement, but they've kind of said, hey, these are the standards that notary signing agents need to follow. And this has generally been accepted and adopted by the majority of title companies, mortgage companies, and signing companies that are looking to hire signing agents. So the Signing Professionals Work Group, it's also called the SPW, they require that the search looks into the following. The first thing they're going to do is what's called a social security number trace. So obviously, you're going to have to give up your social security number in order for this background screening to be completed. And with the social security number trace, what this does is it confirms your identity and it provides address history where criminal record searches will be conducted. So they've got your social security number. They are verifying your identity and they know where you've lived. So now with that information, they do a county criminal court search. So every county has its own criminal court. And in every county that you lived in the time frame of the background screening, they're going to go to those county criminal courts to look and see if you have any offenses. Then they will also do a nationwide criminal database search. So they don't just look in your state, They don't just look in your county, but they are going to look nationwide. So maybe you lived in another state before you moved to the state where you're currently a notary for, or maybe the offense was committed in a state outside of the one where you're currently living. Well, they still gonna find you because they will do a nationwide criminal database search. They also do a federal district court search. So if your offense was federal, they still gonna find you. They do a national sex offender search. They do a USA Patriot Act, including terrorist watch list search. And they will also do a motor vehicles search. And I know some people are like, why are they doing a motor vehicle search? What is up with that? But again, guys, you got to remember, we are mobile notaries. Our job is to drive to and from places to meet with signers. So it's important and it is relevant to companies that are looking to hire us to make sure that you got a good driving history. All right. So those are the specific things that are going to be searched for. So then the next question I get from people is, well, if I have anything on my record, will I automatically fail? And the first thing I like to remind people is most, if not every state, I think it's every state, but I'm not 100% sure. So I'm going to say most states bar people with felonies from becoming a notary public. So if you are a notary public in your state, more than likely you do not have a felony, right? And generally, even misdemeanor crimes that involve dishonesty, fraud, or what's called moral turpitude also disqualifies you from being a notary public. So again, if you are a notary, you probably don't have any felonies. And if you are a notary, you probably don't have any misdemeanors that involve dishonesty, fraud, or moral turpitude. So the good news is that if you have already been commissioned as a notary public, you probably don't have any of the big things that would automatically disqualify you on the NNA background screening. So that's good news. More than likely, the majority of the things that's on the list, if you're already a notary public, you ain't even got to worry about them. However, there are 3 things that will automatically disqualify you. You will automatically fail the background screening if you have any of these 3 things. The first is being convicted of a felony. If you've got a felony, you're going to fail the background screening. You ain't even got to take it. If you know you got a felony, you're going to fail the background screening. The second thing is being found on the National Sex Offender List. So again, if you're on the National Sex Offender List, you're going to fail. They're going to find you because, again, they're looking county, they're looking nationwide, and they're looking federally. You're not going to be able to hide it from them. They're going to find it. And the third thing that will automatically disqualify you is being found on the terrorist watch list. Again, they do a search of that list. If you own it, you ain't going to pass. You're going to fail the background screening. But again, guys, if you are already a notary public, you don't have any of those things. So really, you don't even have to worry about it. So now, there is an actual list of all of the different things that you could get cited for. And the good thing is that everything that's on the list will not automatically disqualify you. Different things on the list are given a different point value. And as long as your total number of points is under 25 points, then you will pass the background screening. So one of the things I always hear from people is, well, I don't have a felony. I'm not on the sex offender list. I'm not on the terrorist watch list, but I got a couple of other little things. So again, the SPW has created a point value system for individual criminal or driving offenses. Points vary by offense, ranging from just 2 points for violations such as driving 1 to 5 miles over the speed limit. So if you get a ticket and you were driving 1 to 5 miles over the speed limits, that's a 2-point offense. Or you can get up to 25 points for something like robbery or arson. And again, remember, 25 points totally disqualifies you. As long as your total score is below 25 points, you will pass the background screening. And again, there is a list. This list that I have up here on the screen now can be found on the Signing Professionals Work Group website. I've got a link to the webpage that shows this list down in the description box. And I know it's really tiny on the screen right now, but I'm going to read to you some of the smaller offenses so that you'll kind of know where you stand. So disorderly conduct up to and including a misdemeanor, it's only 5 points. Disturbing the peace up to and including a misdemeanor, 5 points. Failure to appear up to and including a misdemeanor, 5 points. We've got incidental bad check. That's only 3 points. We've got littering up to and including a misdemeanor, 8 points. Obscenity up to and including a misdemeanor, 5 points. We've got pet license violation. For you folks who are not getting your pet's license properly, don't worry. It's only 3 points. We've got something a little bit higher, resisting arrest up to and including a misdemeanor is only 15 points. So again, if that's something that you have, and that's the only thing that you have, that's under 25 points. You'll still pass the background screening. We've got vandalism up to and including a misdemeanor, 10 points. We've got driving left of center. So again, another little minor ticket violation, 3 points. We've got failure to yield the right of way, 3 points. We've got speeding for some of you fast folks, speeding 36 to 45 miles an hour over the speed limit. That's only 12 points. So again, even if you have a pretty big speeding ticket, if that's the only thing you have, you will still pass. Again, guys, if you want to see specifically what the different things are and what the point values are, click the link down in the description box to go to this website to take a look at the list of offenses. Because if you have something on your record and if you are concerned about whether or not you'll pass, there's really no need to be concerned. You can literally go look and see what your offense or your offenses are and see if you will pass. See what the points are for the offenses that you have and see if they are under 25 points. And again, if they're under 25 points, then you will pass the NNA background screening. So now, some other important information that I want to tell you guys about the background screening, because another thing people always ask, they're like, well, I have something on my record, but it's from like 15 years ago. Well, the screening covers 7 to 10 years of federal, state, and county records. Now, exactly how long that period is depends on your state. Dismissed, expunged, or pardoned cases are not reported. So if you have something, but it was dismissed, it's not going to be reported. If you have something and it was expunged or it was pardoned, it's not going to show up. So you don't have to worry about that. Now, I have had some people ask about deferred adjudication and pretrial diversion charges. What's up with those? Well, those things are scored until all terms specified by the court are satisfied. So if you've got something, it's under deferred adjudication, and you have to have your record clear for a certain amount of time, your record has got to be clear for a certain amount of time before that does not show up on your background screening. But again, once the time frame is passed, once all of the terms specified have been satisfied, then those items will no longer be reported and they will not show up on the background screening. Another thing signing agents always ask is, well, how often do I have to take this background screening? Well, in general, most companies require an updated background screening every 12 months. So guys, if you become a signing agent and then you commit a felony, it's going to show up. on your next background screening, because most companies do require an updated background screening every 12 months. I've been a signing agent since 2007, and I've gotten a new background screening every single year since 2007. So what's that? 17 years, 17 background screenings. I've passed every single time. Yay, go me. Now, another question people will often ask is, can you use a background screening from another company? Some people maybe work for the government, or they may work for another company that required them to get a background screening. It is possible that companies will accept another background screening. However, the majority of lenders, title companies, and signing services, even if you have a background screening from another company, they won't accept it. They will require that you get the background screening from the NNA. So it is possible that there are companies and title companies, mortgage companies, signing services that will accept another background screening, but the majority of the companies out there want the background screening from the NNA. So I know it's a pain. I know it's a pain if you've gotten a background screening from somewhere else to have to pay for another background screening, but it's what the majority of companies are going to require. And if you choose to not get the background screening from the NNA, you may find it difficult to find companies to work for you. Now, again, the background screening is not a legal requirement, and it's not a legal requirement that you get the one from the NNA, but companies that hire you, they can decide what they want in order to send you business. And again, most companies are going to require the background screening specifically from the NNA. Another question that people often ask is there a way to dispute the findings of a background screening or appeal the findings of a background screening? And there's a couple of things that you need to keep in mind for that. So first, if the findings are not accurate because an offense is included that you did not commit, like if they say that you've got a felony for something and you know good and well you don't have a felony, or if the offense is misstated, or if it's incorrectly scored, then you can dispute the findings by contacting Backgrounds Online to review the error. So if they've made an error, if they assign an offense to you that you did not do, or if the offense is reported incorrectly, then you're going to want to contact Backgrounds Online. Now, if the findings are accurate, if you did do it, but you feel like for some reason the results should be reconsidered. So like, if an offense is incorrectly stated based on the signing professionals work group standards, or if the offense was expunged or something like that, or if it was dismissed, then you can file an appeal with the NNA. So basically, if something on the report is just absolutely wrong, you're going to want to contact Backgrounds Online. If what's on the report is right, but you kind of feel like it's misstated or, there's something else going on, then you will need to contact the NNA. Now, I've got the contact websites for both Backgrounds Online and the National Notary Association down in the description box of the video, but also up in the screen, I've got the contact information right now for Backgrounds Online, and you can also contact them for completion status. In general, your background check should be back within 5 days. On the outside, it may take 15 days. If you don't get your background report back within 15 days, then you're going to want to contact Backgrounds Online to see what's going on. You'll also contact Backgrounds Online to make any disputes that I mentioned, and you will reach them at backgroundsonline.com, or I've got their phone number up on the screen, or I've got the link for you down in the description box. The next thing, again, sometimes you're going to want to contact the NNA. Like if you feel like the results of the background screening need to be reconsidered, then you're going to want to contact the NNA. Now, the NNA's website is www.nationalnotary.org. They do have a customer service phone number that you can call. However, if you are calling to or wanting to contact the NNA to appeal the results of your background screening, you're actually going to want to email them. They have a specific email address just for background screening appeals, and that is bgsappeal@nationalnotary.org. Again, I've got the website link down in the description box, and this information can be found on the National Notary Association website. And again, how long does it take for you to get the results of your screening? So again, the background screening is typically completed within 5 business days. So if you order it on a Monday, it'll probably be done by the end of the week. However, the turnaround time for some states may be as long as 10 to 15 days. Some states have some special handling requirements for background screening. So it may take as long as 15 days for you to get the results back. And I'll also say this, usually once you've got it done once, your next ones come back really, really fast. I generally get the results of my background screening within 48 hours. It usually only takes 1 to 2 days for the results of my background screening, since I get it done every year, to come back. Now, the results of your background screening will be sent directly to you via email. So before you freak out about not receiving it, make sure to check all of your email boxes. Obviously, you want to check your inbox, but definitely also check your spam, your junk, your social promotions, whatever little extra folder your email provider has, because sometimes it does end up in spam. So always check those spam boxes before you contact Backgrounds Online about the status. And again, if 15 days have passed and you absolutely have not received your background screening, you can contact Backgrounds Online to check on the status. And again, I've got the link to Backgrounds Online down in the description box of the video. And remember, that is 15 business days. So that does not include weekends or holidays. So in general, if it's been between 3 to 4 weeks and you still have not received your background screening back, then contact Backgrounds Online. So another important thing though, guys, that you want to keep in mind is if you're trying to get started as a signing agent, I would order my background screening about a month before I'm ready to actually start taking signings. Because if you tell people that you're ready to do signings, but you haven't done your background screening yet, again, a lot of companies are not going to use you. They're going to wait until they can see that you have passed the background screening. And again, it can take 15 business days in order to get that background screening back. A lot of times it comes back quick, but you know it's Murphy's Law. The one time you count on it only taking a day or two is when it's going to take several weeks. So if you know that you're going to be ready to start as a signing agent the first week of December, I would order my background screening the first week of November. And again, be prepared, because you're going to have to do this background screening every single year. So again, you're going to order your background screening from the National Notary Association. And the National Notary Association provides this background screening as a part of their Notary Signing Agent package. Now, they currently have 3 different packages that you can purchase as a signing agent. And again, one of the other questions I get is, well, which one of these packages do I need? So the level that you choose, guys, is going to be totally up to you. You need to look through what each level provides, and you need to decide for yourself which level you want to choose. I will say this, every single level includes the background screening. So for people who take my Signing Agent Advanced training program, I recommend to them to get the least expensive signing agent package. So what I have up on the screen right now is for Texas. So these are the prices if you are to become a signing agent here in Texas. The least expensive package for Texas, which includes the background screening and the signing agent certification exam, is $99. That may be higher or lower depending on the state that you are in. But here in Texas, it is $99. And my students who take my signing agent advanced training program, that's all they need. I give you way more training than what you're going to get in the other two packages from the National Notary Association. So there's really no need to spend more money on packages if you are going to take additional training like my signing agent advanced training program. All you need is the least expensive background screening and exam only package. And speaking of my signing agent advanced training program, guys, I want to remind everybody that training is important. You need training, guys, to be a signing agent. Do not try to wing it. Do not try to fake it until you make it. Don't think you're just going to figure it out all on your own from a few YouTube videos and information online. Because here's the deal, guys. These are people's mortgages. These are people's very important documents. And even one tiny mistake, one missed signature, one missed date, one missed notarization, one missed initial can seriously mess up the closing and the funding of someone's mortgage. And I can't tell you guys the number of times that I've done loan signings for people, and they literally have their U-Haul sitting outside waiting to move into their home. And if I mess up on their loan signing, that means that they may not be able to get possession of their new home for another day or 2 or 3 or 4 if it's over the weekend. Please get training. I know we're all on a budget. I know things are tough for everyone, but please be respectful of the people that we're doing loan signings for. Somebody's mortgage is not something that you want to practice on. You need to know what you're doing before you take your very first signing so that you can make sure that you get that signing done for them error-free to make the closing, the purchase, the refinance of their home smooth and easy. Because that's what you would want if it was you. If it was your refinance or if it was your purchase, you would want to make sure that it was done correctly and error-free. So again, I've got links down in the description box, guys, that will tell you more about my signing agent advanced training program. But just a little bit about what I teach in there. I teach you how to complete notary certificates properly. I teach you how to get loan documents signed properly. I teach you how to describe those documents to signers. I give you sample documents. That's one of the big things that people say. They're like, I want to see what these documents look like before I do a signing. But it's not easy to find sample documents. I provide you with sample loan packages. I have mock closing videos. Another thing that people always want to say is, I want to see what actually happens in a loan signing. Well, I've got videos of what actually happens, what I actually do and say in a loan signing so that you can see it from beginning to end. And most importantly, you get a trainer, and a mentor that you can reach out to for assistance. All of my students have lifetime access to my training. It's not a subscription. It's not something that you only have access to for a little while. It is lifetime access to the training and lifetime access to me. Woo! Guys, as usual, that was a lot of information, but hopefully it was helpful, especially to you guys who are new and aspiring signing agents. So now is the time. If you've got questions about the background screening, if you've got questions about being a signing agent, let me know either down in the chat, or if you are watching this on the replay, ask me your questions down in the comments. But I know getting a background screening can be a pain. Again, I've done it 17 times, rolling up on my 18th time here coming up in a minute. I know it's a pain, guys, but again, it is to keep the information of signers protected. For any of you who have purchased or refinanced a home, or for any of you who are looking sometime in the future to purchase or refinance a home, I know that you want to feel like your personal information is being handled safely. You don't want to have to worry that the person that has your personal information is going to do something unscrupulous with it. So that's why we get these background screenings. That's why it's so important. And that's why I don't get upset when I have to get it done again and again and again and again and again and again and again. I'm going to scroll through, guys, see if I saw any questions up here. But again, whether you are watching live or whether you are watching on the replay, make sure that you put your questions down in the chat or in the comments. So Barbara says they're trying to renew their notary commission and you're in Maryland. Where can you get a course from? So here's the thing. Some states require that you take a course to become a notary. Some states do not. I live in Texas. Texas is a state that does not require a course to become a notary. But if your state requires a course to become a notary, I would tell you to look at your Secretary of State or Department of State website. They are going to have a specific department for notaries. And if a course is required to become a notary in your state will tell you where you can get that course from. So you always want to make sure, guys, any questions that you have about being a notary in your state, check the Secretary of State or Department of State website for your state. Look at the notary section in that department, and that will give you the specific legal requirements that you have to follow to become a notary in your state. So Barbara, make sure you check that out. And then Kay says they are a signing agent, but they have not gotten a signing. Well, look, here's the deal, Kate. Signings don't fall in your lap. Just because you become a signing agent, signings don't come raining out of the sky, okay? Becoming a signing agent is literally just the first step. This is a business. And as a business, you have to go out and find clients to do signings through, whether those clients are title companies, whether they are builders, whether they are mortgage companies, whether they are real estate agents, or whether they are signing services. You have to go out and find business from these companies. Now, I teach my students in my Signing Agent Advanced training program how to find business. I teach them how to get business from signing services. But more importantly, I teach my students how to get direct business. So that means getting business directly from a title company or a mortgage company and not through a signing service. There's nothing wrong with signing services, but here's the deal. Signing services are middlemen between you and the title company or the mortgage company. So bottom line, you're going to make less money when you work through a signing service because the fee that is getting paid to do that signing is going to be split between you and the signing service. And look, the signing service deserves some of that money because they're the ones that found the business to give it to you. So it's not a hustle. There's nothing wrong with them making money from sending you business. But basically, when you work with signing services, you do not make as much money. So I really, really focus with my students on teaching them how to get direct business. Because here's the deal. If you have the choice between doing one signing for $200 or one signing for $100, it makes a lot more sense to do one signing for $200. And that's basically the difference between doing direct business and doing signings through a signing service. So, Kay, if you need help finding out how to get signing business, make sure you click the link for my Signing Agent Advanced training program down in the description box. All right. And then I can't pronounce your name, Harziz. So I'm assuming as I was talking about the different levels that you can purchase for the NNA background screening, I'm assuming that you were saying that you're planning to do the least expensive option. And then you're saying you're going to get supporting books afterwards. So here's the deal. There's nothing wrong with supporting books, but you need training. For most people, unless you already have mortgage, real estate, title experience, you're going to need training and you're going to need a mentor to really be able to be a good signing agent from day one. Because if not, what's going to happen is on your first several signings, you're going to make mistakes. And like I said, that is very disrespectful to the people out there who are counting on us as their signing agent to get their signings done error-free. When we make mistakes, that delays the closing and the funding of their loan. That delays them being able to move into their new home. That delays them getting the money that they were expecting to get out of a refinance. That delays their payment being lower. So many things. So while there's nothing wrong with getting books, while there's nothing wrong with getting other information, I always highly recommend to get training so that you can do this signing agent thing right from the very beginning. Let's see. Sean said that he got his background screening back in 3 days. That's what I'm telling you guys. For the most part, most people will get their background screening results back in less than 5 days. However, like I said, there are instances where it can take up to 15 business days. So just be prepared for that. Let's see what else we've got. Let's see. Is it too early to go for a signing agent exam if you just became a notary, like you have yet to do your first notary act? So you don't have to have done any notarizations in order to be a signing agent, right? I became a notary public just to do loan signings. I did not do any general notary work before I became a signing agent. So I know there are some people who say that you should. You can. It's not a requirement. If it makes you feel more comfortable to do some general notary work ahead of time, if it makes you feel more comfortable to do some notarizations ahead of time, it doesn't hurt anything, but it is not a requirement. And again, I teach my students in my Signing Agent Advanced training program how to complete notarizations correctly. So it's totally up to you if you want to do some notarizations first and then do your signing agent certification exam. Now, I tell people though, specifically, if you are talking about the NNA signing agent certification exam, get your other training done first. Your NNA signing agent certification exam is also only good for 12 months. So I would say wait to take that exam until you are actually ready to do signings, until you've done your training, until you feel like you have the training and knowledge to do a signing correctly the first time. Then do your signing agent certification exam and then start accepting business. All right, let's see. Thelma, can you help me access my Lifetime Advanced Signing Agent page? Send me an email if you are a student and if you have lost your sign-in information, send me an email at signingagentbasics@gmail.com. And I will need you to let me know the email address that I have on file for you as a student. So make sure if you're emailing me from an email address that's not the same email address that I have for you as a student, I need your student email address in order to look up your information. Once I've got that, then I can send you information again on how to log back into the course. Let's see. I actually just answered this question. If you've already passed the signing agent class with the NNA, do you have to take it again every year? So there is no legal requirement to do so, but most companies will require an updated NNA signing agent certification exam and an updated NNA background screening every year. Honestly, I don't even think that you can purchase those things separately. I think you have to purchase the background screening and the signing agent certification exam together. Again, there's no legal requirement for it, but most of the companies out there will require that you have it. And then Herman says, I'm from California. If I choose the lower package, it includes a test. Do I need to pass that test? Is it a requirement? So again, kind of like I was just telling Michelle, most companies do require that you pass the NNA signing agent certification exam, as well as passing the NNA background screening. But I'm going to tell you, get this, guys, the NNA signing agent certification exam is really, really easy. And honestly, passing that exam does not prepare you for doing signings. And again, if you are one of my students, I teach you how to easily pass the NNA Signing Agent Certification exam the first time. The test is super, super easy. And you will learn a ton more in my training than what is in that test. So, the lower package does include the test. The lower package does include the background screening. And while it is not a legal requirement, most companies will require that you pass the NNA Signing Agent Certification exam and the NNA Background Screening in order for them to send you work. All right, I think that's all the questions. If you got something, put it in there now or put it in the comment section later. Again, guys, I always go back to see if I've missed any questions in the chat. I always go back to answer any questions that may be in the comments. Put them in there, and I will absolutely do my best to answer all of those questions for you. And again, guys, don't forget, down in the description box of the YouTube video, you are going to find links to all of my freebies. You're going to find links to the Backgrounds Online website, the Signing Professionals Workgroup website, and the National Notary Association's website. So all of the information that I talked about in this video, you got links for down in the description box. Guys, and again, if you haven't already done so, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure on YouTube you subscribe and make sure you hit that notification bell. That way you won't miss any of my upcoming live stream trainings. Guys, it's been awesome hanging out with you today. I can't wait to hang out with you again. And I want each and every one of you to have a productive and profitable day. Bye, guys.